All right.
Here we go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Merge Feast. My name is Blake, and we've got video. So welcome back, Logan and Brandon.
What's up?
Thank you,
Hello.
Brandon, for setting all this up and getting us on video.
Yeah, I am pumped. So yeah, this is our very first video edition of the Merge Feast. So if you're listening on audio, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you're at, and you prefer to check us out on video, we have linked our YouTube in the show notes. So switch on over to that and check us out on video if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited. Well, I'll start off by apologizing for my voice, dealing with a little bit of a cold. So sorry if you guys see or hear me blow my nose at all. But I'm excited to talk about this week's episode, and pretty much starts off with a recap of last week. But then the big storyline is the tribe swap. So Logan, I'm curious your thoughts on how the tribes ended up switching up and the new dynamics there.
Yeah, tribe swap. I think the initial tribe setup obviously was kind of lopsided. Obviously had a team that didn't do great, but I think with the tribe swap and how everything laid out, I actually think the tribes are fairly even and kind of level now. I think the tribe with the California Girls trio obviously had the majority there. We saw some things happen there this week with that, so excited to dive into that. But overall, I think having multiple people from the same tribe, but it also being fairly random, because I feel like we've had some tribe swaps before where it's been you have all the same people on the same tribe and then one new person and something like that. But I was thrilled with the new tribes.
Yeah, I am in the same boat. I'm going to try to find this Mike Bloom tweet about the tribe shakeup. So give me just a second. But this, I feel like the last time they did a tribe swap, it was like barely a tribe swap at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here we go. This is from at a Mike Bloom type on Twitter. Survivor 48 marks the second time in history and the first in 40 seasons where a tribe swap does not consist of any members of the original tribe. Vula now has twice as many members as it had going in, but they'll all be going to that beach for the first time. So huge shakeup, and nobody, I liked it because I think the last time they did a swap was Survivor 45, and Lulu was kind of the Vula tribe of that season. And I remember Sean got put with 4 Rebas and got voted out immediately. So I like that there was some balance in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The one disappointment I had was between Mary and Sai, because right before the tribe swap, they kind of had a little bonding moment, and I thought this could be really cool to see them work together. So now I'm kind of hopeful that they both make the merge, because I'd like to see them actually work together. They seem to have like a healthy respect for each other outside of the game, like as individuals, and then they're starting to respect each other's gameplay and work together a little bit. So I was a little disappointed that they didn't end up on the same tribe, but other than that, I loved it. And I mean, Vula is definitely cursed since they lost the challenge. Sorry to jump ahead, but that was kind of, I don't know, kind of funny to see. What'd you think about on Loggy, David and Eva? What'd you think of their two like bonding moment there? Because she clearly gravitated towards or had that moment with Joe, and kind of seemed to have a similar connection with David. But I was curious what your guys' thoughts were there.
Yeah, no, they almost immediately connected, and I feel like I at the premiere episode I didn't think I was gonna like David, but honestly, in the last two episodes, I really seemed to like him, and it was nice to see the tribe members speak really highly of him. How he's just a nice guy, he's a provider, he's a gentleman, and it just seems like a genuinely good dude. So not surprising that Eva saw that and gravitated towards him, and he was obviously accepting of that, which I think you have to be when you're jumping into a new situation full of unknowns.
Not only that, but I mean, even for just Eva in general, I mean, with having autism and the social side of things, and her being more athletic and growing up playing hockey and being around guys and some of that, he's obviously very athletic, stunt performer. Um, and so it's one of those that I feel like having those connections. They obviously talked about the jet skis and some of that. So having that similarities there obviously brought them together. And I'll be curious to see if she opens up to him like she did with Joe about the autism, or if she still keeps that closer.
I think what I'm probably most excited about this tribe swap is it feels like a whole new game. I mean, we were kind of in a rut, and as much as I liked this season so far, I mean, we talked about it in past episodes. Like, having one tribe that is consistently losing is just not fun. Even though that was probably my least favorite tribe out of the three. But you start to see, like, okay, now people are going to have to play the game. And we saw that for the first time today because none of them had been to tribal council before. And so, I don't know, it was just fun all the way around.
Yeah, I would agree. It's almost like a new season all over again. You go from, I mean, you saw kind of my thoughts on last week's episode. I was very unhappy, kind of negative towards it. And this episode, in my opinion, was a really nice rebound from that episode. And it was almost like resetting. And now, I think we're probably maybe 2 episodes from a merge if recent history repeats itself here.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, and I can never remember this, but how many people normally go to the merge?
So I believe it is, so in the new era, they do the pre-merge, mergatory, then merge. So I think 6 people get voted out before they go to the merge. So I think it's 12 people that actually make the merge.
Okay. Yeah, so you're right. 2 more episodes and it'll be
That's
merge
crazy.
time.
Yeah, and which, to your point earlier, I think if Mary and Say can survive for a couple more episodes, then they can get back together, kind of under the radar, and do some damage.
I honestly think that duo with Say and Mary, I think, is honestly going to blossom and be better than it was with Say and Cedric. I think with what Cedric did the last episode is really put kind of a distrust in Say's mouth, and just because she even said it this week of, I don't know if I want to work with Cedric. I don't know if I trust him. So I'll be curious to see if Cedric actually sticks around, if she goes for him, what the case may be there, or if she holds on until merge and then tries to kind of go from there. But I think the Mary Say duo could be really, really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Cedric and Cedric and Say are on the same tribe.
Correct.
Still, right?
Yep.
Okay. So who do we have? Siva, the Orange Tribe, has Bianca, Cedric, Chrissy, Mitch, and Say. Loggy has Star, Mary, Eva, David, and Christy. and then Vula had Thomas, Joe, Camilla, Kyle, and Shaheen.
Yep.
Okay.
Speaking of Shaheen, completely random, but Stephen Fishback, former Survivor contestant, said that Shaheen resembles Paul Rudd, and I'm not seeing it.
No.
I mean, if I squint really hard, then maybe.
Like, maybe if he shaved his beard, we could maybe see a resemblance there, but
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, are you okay?
But how can you ever shave that beard? I am so jealous.
That
of
beard
this
is so thick.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah. But I know you already kind of talked, Blake, about the challenge and Vula lost. If we're ready to jump into the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big storyline this week is Vula.
Yeah. So the new Vula is like, we're ending it. We're ending the streak today. We're winning, like, without a doubt. Like, it's happening. And
Well, they came into the challenge hooting and hollering, and I mean, they guaranteed a win. Mm-hmm. And I was really hoping that Vula and Logie would win, but I mean, and they
cursed.
looked really good, but that puzzle just did them in.
yeah, and they even admitted after the challenge, at least Shaheen did, like, we set that up wrong, which I don't know. I don't know if there was some ego stuff in there as far as how they set it up, or if they just
Really didn't think it through. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. But
I wonder how,
clearly,
how big of a difference it would have actually made with her being down, like actually doing the puzzle rather than having to call it out. I wonder if it would have made that big of a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. And we'll probably never know, but yeah, I mean, and they had the puzzle. They just misplaced a couple pieces. Like everything was structured correctly, but a couple of the pieces were turned around. And I feel like once you get to that point, having to disassemble and then reassemble is a recipe for disaster. Like you're never going to get it. So
I think obviously Vula lost. Different Vula than before. I think, like, for me, I was happy for Siva and Logie winning because Mary, Say, and Cedric avoided tribal council. I thought it would have stunk, especially for Mary. I think had Logie gone to tribal council, I feel like there might have been a pretty big chance that she goes home because she was kind of the only one without somebody from her former tribe with her. So I was happy for them from that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, you could see how emotional they were as soon as Jeff mentioned of like, hey, you're not going to tribal council the first time ever. Like, they were all very much feeling the relief and just the happiness of that. So it was cool to see.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then, I mean, after the challenge, and I was really, really liking Thomas, but it became pretty evident, and I guess they kind of laid the groundwork before the challenge, but what's their name? Kyle and Camilla were very, very close, and they went into the merge or into the tribe swap basically pretending like they were on two separate sides of their tribe. And it almost seemed like it came really natural.
They didn't even talk about it.
Yeah, like she just went with it, and Kyle was like, "Okay, let's do this," and they played that so beautifully. For them to be so incredibly close and then to pull that off without even communicating, they're a duo to look out for. Mm-hmm. And I think they're absolutely on the rest of Vula's radar now. But man,
well, yeah, I think Kyle kind of took the words out of my mouth when I was going to come in here and call what they did tonight a masterclass, and in scenes from next episode, Kyle was like, me and Camila just pulled off a masterclass in deception. So
Yep.
very, very well done. And now it's, split 2-2, the dynamic is,
Right.
but it's really now tilted in Kyle and Camila's favor because they have the extra vote. So unless Shaheen and Joe have something we're not aware of or find something between now and then, it's not looking good for the remainder of the California girls.
Yeah. And honestly, Shaheen's probably the closest, or he's probably got one foot out the door there, which I was going to ask you guys. I know searching people's bags is like totally fine. It's a little cringe to me, and I don't know if I would do it, but I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do, but it didn't help. And in a lot of ways, I think it may have potentially hurt his game, and time will tell. But
I was honestly kind of
I
surprised.
don't know. Doing that in front of Camilla, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, surprised doing it in front of her, and surprised that he wasn't the one that went home because of that. Like, hey, distrust, can't trust him, going through some stuff. And man, what poise for Camilla to sit there and not say anything, not act any. Like, you could tell she was somewhat nervous, but she played that off really well. And that Camilla and Kyle, definitely a duo to watch out for, and excited, and the way they came into the tribe and all. I don't think they would have made it out tonight without the advantages that they had, but hey, good for them for finding them and having them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what they're there for. So
I've always been anti bag searching. I think it's kind of lame. Like, you obviously it's a game of deception and lying and gaining trust, and it's Survivor. But I just think that's kind of the one thing that should almost be protected or sacred, because it's your personal belongings. I think though Shaheen, we've seen this dynamic with Thomas and Shaheen in previous episodes where Thomas was like, well, why don't we just, lose the clue? And Shaheen's
Right.
like, no, I don't want to do that. And Shaheen almost kind of seemed the same here, where he's like, I don't really want to look through the bag. And I think he kind of somewhat went through the bag just to humor Thomas. I think if he would have actually gone through it, he would have found it. But I almost felt like he didn't feel right doing it.
Thomas was definitely pushing it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Which I like the way Thomas was playing, kind of edgy, almost a little bit villain-esque. But I liked where he was at. But I'm curious, Brandon, where you stand on Joe. So he made a comment about new school and old school, and he definitely seems like he fits more of the old school mindset. Like, I don't want to talk to all these people and have, one-on-one conversations just before I stab them in the back. And I was curious your take on that, because we've talked a lot about, old school versus new school, and I'm just curious your thoughts on where he's at and how he's playing the game.
Yeah. I think I noticed that stuck out to me as well. That is, and I never really paid attention to that, but that is a very new school kind of thing to do, is, hey, let's go have some chats. Let's go talk this out. Because, old school, I'm thinking of Boston Rob and Redemption Island. And I can't remember. I think his name was Matt. It was one of the contestants. He just said Rob's name, and Rob didn't even go and try to work it out with him. He was just like, you're done. So I kind of get it, because I think if you're going to have a bunch of one-on-one conversations, you're creating an opportunity for something to go wrong, where I think if Vula, I think if Joe, Shaheen, and Thomas wouldn't have talked to Camila and Kyle as much, they might have come out on top tonight, because Kyle and Camila wouldn't have maybe felt like, they wouldn't have had as much information.
Right.
But as far as Joe's game right now, like, he's kind of taking a back seat for me. He's just kind of there. And I think that's where he wants to be, is not, front and center, because, Thomas, a little more out there, is now gone, and Shaheen was calling a lot of the shots, and Shaheen is probably the next target, and I think Joe might be somebody that can go into the merge with new friends in Kyle and Camila.
Yeah. Well, and I think looking at Genevieve last season, like peaking at the right time in the season, like is crucial, and he is, like you said, kind of taking a back seat, playing in the shadows a little bit. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for his game at all.
Yeah.
So if he makes it to the merge, I'll be curious to see kind of when he peaks. And I mean, it's obviously way too soon to say, okay, this person's running away with it. But I don't know. There's a lot of gameplay left, and right now everybody's just hunting to get to the merge, and then that feels like that's when the game actually starts. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see. Maybe I missed it. Did they know for sure that they were voting Kyle? Like, did Kyle and Camila know for sure that they were voting out Kyle, and then that's why he played his idol? Because Camila said, like, hey, play your idol for yourself and I'll give you the extra vote. But were they just hoping that it landed on Kyle?
I don't think it was ever actually shown that it was like 100% Kyle, but I think based on the conversations and how Camilla felt with the conversations that she had, that it was, hey, we're going with you, we're voting Kyle. I personally was fairly surprised that they didn't split the votes. I mean, 2 left, you've got the numbers. You don't think they have any advantages, even if they have an idol. Okay, if Kyle plays it, then Camilla goes home, and then we're 3 still safe. Why not split them?
Well, because then it would have been
Thomas still would have gone home,
yeah,
but
he still would have gone home.
I guess that's true.
It was never 100%. I think, just again, it just goes to the job that Kyle and Camila did, but I think where they were really, Kyle said it like, oh, they were willing to go through my bag in front of Camila. They're definitely voting me.
That's true.
So I think that's where they were like, we don't have a definite, I'm getting my name written down, but that's enough info where, okay, they're bringing Camila in and I'm gone. So that was just enough. Like, something's up. I got to play my idol.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Man,
did they? Sorry, go ahead.
No, good. I was just gonna say, like, that was just so well done from Kyle and Camila. To not even speak before you get there, and Camila being, acting, I'm on the bottom, boohoo, and Kyle not being like, what are you talking about? He's just like, is able to be like, oh yeah, we don't really know each other. Just, I can't get over that, how great that was. And just, you were able to just bamboozle a power trio like it was nothing.
I mean, probably the smoothest and like most best adapted into a tribe swap or readjustment of the tribes or merge or something like that from a duo. Like, I mean, played it from the get-go, going into it to tribal this first one, like, perfect. You couldn't have played it better.
Yeah. And I guess to your point earlier, Logan, part of Thomas's downfall may have been not sharing his advantage with his alliance. Because if they would have split the vote and he had a steal a vote, like, they could have come out on top if he would have shared that with everybody, because then they could have split it and had that extra vote. Yeah, that's always interesting to me, because I'm I've been fairly disappointed the last several seasons because everybody seems to share their advantage with everybody. And then we get Thomas who doesn't, and that could have potentially saved his game by sharing that with his alliance. So it's, I don't know.
But that just goes to show how good of a player Camila is, though, because she went on that journey. Like, the threads that she pulled together to even pin that on him, she went on that journey with him, knowing full well what was at stake and that you didn't have a choice to play it. And her happening to ask Star when they're on the sit-out bench what happened, and Star was like, yeah, Thomas said that he didn't even play. And her... that's winner stuff.
True.
Picking up on those small details. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
it like you said, winners pick up on that, and the best players pick up on that.
So I'm locking it. Not really. Not yet. But, hey, I mean, if you were going to have me, pick 3 players, like she's on the list again. Camila.
Yeah, her stock definitely went up significantly. And for me, more than Kyle's did. I mean, Kyle's went up too, but Camila was definitely the mastermind there.
I think the only fear with them is, how I see this playing out is obviously, they're out now. Kyle and Camila are a duo. Their tribe knows that. Maybe they don't. They might have some clarification next week, but I don't want them to, should they make it to the merge and Shaheen and Joe are still in the game, like, hey, they're really strong, we need to get them out, or we need to break them up. I think that's my only fear for them, is being too powerful.
Well, and I think the other tribes are going to see that as soon as they go to the next challenge and see that Thomas is not there. I think everybody's going to be like, wait a second, those 3 were all together. And even the people that were on their tribe are going to say, wait, those 3 were working together. How did that get pulled off? So that's going to kind of paint a target on their back, even for people that don't actually know what happened yet. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, the only other person that I wanted to talk about, another kind of cool moment from Mitch again. I talked about his stutter a little bit, or speech impediment, and him and Cedric kind of had a cool moment where Cedric had talked about how he had used to stutter, and I don't know, kind of seeing people like him on TV. I don't know. I love that stuff. All the good feels, and it was just another cool moment with Mitch.
Yeah, you can't get enough of those.
Cool moments with Mitch. On today's edition.
Well, there was really only, there was 3 people that stayed on the same, no, I guess 4 people that stayed on the same tribe. Chrissy, Eva, Star, and Mitch. But everybody else switched. Dang. That is a good swap. Just looking at it all, that's solid.
Agreed.
Did you guys pull up the new set of questions for season 50?
I did. I voted already.
Yeah. I have not voted yet.
Let's go over those questions, though. I took some screenshots of them. So you haven't voted, Blake. Did you vote, Logan? You said that. Sorry. So the first question was, which of these iconic challenges would you like to see the Final Four players take on? And I'm going to be honest with you, the only one that I was like, I could really make out was option C, which was the ball dropping one.
Yeah.
But the other 2, one's just like they're both like just big physical challenges, it looks like.
No, so option A was where you had to build a puzzle while your ball was falling down, or your little puck was falling down, and then you had to run back and grab it and put it back up to the top and then go and do your puzzle. But that one, like, it was cool, but I feel like everybody fell out of it really, really quickly. And then I'm not sure what option B was. It looks like just a normal physical challenge.
I wonder if it's the challenge that basically like combines a couple of the previous ones, and it's kind of a little long and all. I don't know, but
Yeah, I almost. I feel like we would have benefited from like a video of the Survivor Dream Team running through those, or just them showing us old footage of them. Because I was like, I don't even wear glasses, but I was like, putting my glasses, like, what was that?
what did you?
What'd you
Yeah,
vote
what did
for?
you vote, Brandon?
So I actually voted. I wanted to vote option C. I feel like they wanted us to vote option C, and I like that challenge because it is. I feel like it was a Final Four staple for a long time, but I actually went with option B because I think doing like a last hurrah, like a big physical test, would be great.
Nice. I went with option C. I miss that challenge, like you said. Great Final Four concentration. I don't know. It's just a unique, and I'd love to see it come back. So I went with C.
Yeah.
I just voted option B. I like the idea of physical and maybe a puzzle in there as well, and not just the mental side of it. But I do like option C. It's iconic. It's classic. And honestly, I'd be good with any of them, even at option A, as long as it's competitive. But I voted option B.
Yeah. So, the next question. More gameplay advantages are an exciting way to give players the power to influence the game. How much power do you want advantages to have in Survivor 50? So there were three options. Minimal power. I want advantages to be rare and limited in power, forcing the players to rely primarily on their strategy. Social and physical abilities. Strategic power. I want advantages that are powerful enough to create uncertainty and risk, adding a layer of complexity for the players to deal with. Dynamic. I want to amplify the impact and fun of advantages, so they offer. I lost it. Hold on, everybody,
Technical
relax.
difficulties.
So they offer enough power to shake up the game so that even players on the bottom have a fighting chance. So I went with minimal power. I think, honestly, I think less is more with advantages. I think that Survivor gets a little bit crazy with advantages sometimes, and I would like the gameplay to shine a little bit. So especially for Survivor 50, it's I know we're in the new era, but should be a celebration of all 50 seasons. And you go back to old school, and it was you're either a great player or you're not. So I kind of want like just minimal power.
I voted strategic power. So I don't like huge game breaking powers and advantages, but stuff to shake it up a little bit, I'm good with. I don't like the lose a vote stuff, but I guess that's not really an advantage that they're asking about. But I went with the strategic.
I did as well. I don't. I think advantages and things like that are great. Like you said, Brandon, I think they can get out of hand, and I think having the gameplay shine is a positive thing. But I think there's a balance there, and the dynamic of crazy moves. I mean, those are fun to see. but I just don't know if it's the best for like Survivor gameplay. So I went that middle of the road.
Alrighty. And third and final question of the night, which honestly, I completely forgot that they were even doing this because we haven't seen it for a few weeks, but to switch or not to switch. So kind of the theme of tonight's episode. We had a tribe swap tonight. So this is, I want the tribes to switch. I want to force new alliances, test old ones, challenging players to prove they can survive. I do not want the tribes to switch. I want alliances to grow naturally without disruption. Strong bonds should be built and rewarded, not broken. So tonight was a good example of where I would want a tribe switch. And personally, like, I'll just say I voted no to the tribe switch. I think a tribe switch should be saved for scenarios like tonight where it shouldn't be we're going into this season knowing that, oh, we're going to do a tribe switch on episode 4. It should be if this, then this. And that's kind of how I wish that they just handled swaps. I know they like to pretend, Jeff said it, that we go into the seasons knowing that we're going to have a tribe swap, but I'm like, okay, the last 2 tribe swaps you've done have been because you have a tribe that's in shambles. So
right. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I voted the same way. I mean, I think tribe swaps are great and making people build new alliances and some of that is fun, and don't have an issue with that side of things and actually kind of like that. But I think the tribe swap should only be in an instance like this, and in dire. It shouldn't be something just going into it, like you said.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on all of that. I voted yes to the switch for times like this. I don't think there was any downside. In fact, I think it helped. I think the tribe swap this season has absolutely helped the season, just based on this one episode. So I'm okay with it, but I'm with you. I think it should be used. It should be used out of necessity.
There almost needs to be a little like comment section after that one of like, only if this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think like last season is a great example of if they would have had a tribe swap planned, it could have not ruined the season, but pre-merge was so good last season. If they would have thrown a tribe swap in, it might have completely screwed up
For sure.
the flow and just direction of that season.
I agree.
Well, I think it's time for Survivor of the Week.
That it is.
And I will be shocked if we don't have the same person.
Same.
I mean, can we all agree that it's Camilla?
I was gonna say on 3, but yes.
Camilla?
I think it's Camilla.
Okay,
Yeah.
Camilla.
100%.
I think we've stated enough reasons as to why.
Kyle would be a runner-up, but Camilla.
Yeah. Yeah. Great episode from her perspective. And I don't know, like, we're going to wait because we agreed to wait on picking a winner, but like, I'm feeling good about a Camila win.
Yeah, and I think it's impressive that you have Kyle who played the idol for himself at the right time, chose not to play the extra vote, and Camilla still is the front runner. Like, that speaks volumes. Because normally, if you play an idol for yourself and it works and it saves you, like, that's a good move. And it was a good move, but for her to still outshine Kyle in that, I think is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't, speaking on the extra vote, I don't know if there was ever even talks of playing it. I know she gave it to Kyle as maybe a way to gain trust. Not gain trust, but like ensure that they're good. But
Well, and I wonder too if she thought, okay, you play the idol for yourself, you're guaranteed to be safe, and so if I go home, then you'll still at least have the extra vote, so that she didn't walk
True.
out with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. So just she's just thinking of every last detail that like nothing's
Impressive.
missed, which is just it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Brandon, do we have any mail?
Yep, let me pull my mail up. All right. So this is from last week. It's from Jim Hogmo, your guys' dad, obviously. He's a frequent emailer
I like
of the
it.
show. He's talking about
Dad.
tribal from last week. Craziest tribal ever for sure. I can't believe it took them that long to figure out Justin didn't have a vote. Crazy.
I want to say they said it was one of the longest tribals on like ever, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what Justin in his exit interview, he said that it was the longest tribal in history. And
Wow.
which it makes sense because I think Justin said it in his interview as well, but it's a long one if you have basically half an hour dedicated to tribal because he had a commercial break in the middle of tribal.
Yeah,
so, but I don't know how long normal tribals typically are. I know we get to see a 15-minute edited down version. I think they're there for a few hours. But you have a vote. You voted 3 times in that tribal, and then technically a 4th time because they were deadlocked. So yeah, it was a long night.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I'm with my dad on that one. The fact that like there were the 2 votes there, and they did not realize that he didn't have a vote until like after they revoted twice. I was like, what are you guys doing? But I think that goes to speak to that tribe. Like they just weren't with it. So
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So if you want to be featured on the show as well, email us at the mergefeastpodcast@gmail.com and we will read your email on the show. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, throw a question or comment in the comment section and we'll check those out as well and get those part of the show.
We definitely appreciate the comments, and Dad, thank you very much, and keep them coming. Anybody else, obviously, more and more.
yeah, and let us know what you think
Yeah.
of the video too. I'm curious to hear everybody's reaction and thoughts on it, and anything we can do different. So
Yeah, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Again, comment. We'd love to engage with you. Check us out on social media. We're at Merge Feast Pod on Twitter. We're going to be getting Instagram and TikTok set up here in the near future, so be looking out for that as well. But yeah, just follow us to stay up to date on what we're doing here at the Merge Feast.
love it. I love it. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, then we'll go ahead and sign off this week. But go ahead and say goodbye, Logan.
Goodbye, Logan.